Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be in the world. I'm Sarah Jane, and this is Gift of Healing TV. This evening's program, I am delighted to be welcoming back to the program for the, I don't know how many times now, but David McLeod, who is a friend from the States, life mastery coach, and I'm not going to go into a full, if you want to read that, it's on the website on the About Us page. But David is also the author of this book, A Life to Die For. And the exercise he's going to share with us tonight, once we've had a little bit of chat, is actually from his book. So I hope that you will participate in that. But first and foremost, David, welcome. Thank you for joining me again.
Thank you so much, Sarah Jane. It's been a while since we connected face to face like this. Although I know we do communicate by email, and I know you're going to be on my Life Mastery TV show, and you know we're just doing what we do, which I think is to bring messages of love and compassion and support and hope to people, and to help them, raise their consciousness so that the overall world can be a better place for it. So I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, and that's just it, isn't it? And I think our topic this evening, which is to do with apologizing and integrity, it's all to do with helping to raise that vibration. But there is that saying, isn't there? It's, if you want to actually improve the world you live in, improve everything within yourself first. And it is with, and that's, yeah, I learned a lot when I started my own healing journey, as I'm sure you did yours. Mm-hmm. When we become happier within ourselves, when we find that happiness, that love within us for us, then it shows in the outside world as well.
Absolutely. And I think that, you've said it already, and it's an important thing to say. To me, it's like a paraphrase of what Mohandas K. Gandhi said: be the change you want to see in the world. Yeah. And it's really true. And the way I interpret that is, if I want change to exist outside of myself, then I have to create the change in here. And so, as you said, doing personal growth work, and sometimes it can be challenging and even painful work, because really what you're doing is you're going within and you're looking at some of those old dysfunctional beliefs and old wounds and all kinds of stuff. But you're doing it from a place of a mature adult who's trying to heal the wounds of a little child. And that actually is quite a beautiful process of what I call self-parenting, And so, yeah, I totally agree with you. And if I want to see an improvement in the world, then I've got to start by going within. And even just going within for a moment, just bringing myself presence, even if I don't do any deep work in that process, it helps me, at the very least, see things from a different perspective. And just seeing things from a different perspective creates a change in what I see out there.
And I think that seeing things from a different perspective is also a really brilliant way of putting what the topic for tonight is, which I say tonight because it's night here in the UK, and it's early afternoon for you. Because that word sorry, apologizing, having been raised a Catholic, and it was just like, it's being considerate of everybody else. And as I was saying before, somebody bumps into you in a shop or in the street or something, and my automatic reaction is to say sorry. Mm-hmm. When actually it probably wasn't anything to do with me. It was the other individual just not looking where they were going. So if anybody's going to apologize, it should come from them, not necessarily from me. And so it's that overuse of that word sorry. Sorry has lost its meaning in the majority of cases. And so it's changing our perspective of apologizing, when we should apologize, how we should apologize, and the process that goes with that internally, which is, I think, the part of what this exercise is that you're going to be sharing. So apologizing, yes, it is about perspective change, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I'm trying, that's it. Absolutely, I resonate with that. So
Yeah.
there's been a situation over the last few months of connecting with somebody in another country for a Skype call. And it's taken 3-4 months for us actually to make it happen, because the number of times, for whatever reason, we missed each other. And it was just getting ridiculous. But there were circumstances, the other person's end. And I suppose, with a client that just doesn't turn up. And my immediate reaction is, I hope they're okay.
Yeah.
That is my immediate reaction. And it is about our reaction to things, isn't it?
Mm-hmm,
My
mm-hmm.
immediate reaction is, I hope everything's all right. I hope they're all right. The kids are all right. The whatever. I hope something hasn't happened. It is a heck of a relief to discover that it hasn't. Although with this particular person, there were 2 incidences, and you're thinking, okay, fine, I totally get it, sort of. And we have now connected and talked. It was great. Yeah, there was a load of stuff that went on, and I was exceptionally patient with that. And I also believe in universe's divine timing. And so, yes, but I think if there is a reason, then it is important. Oh, I am so sorry. I know it wasn't my fault. And so actually, I don't know why I'm apologizing for it, but I'm late. So I'm the one that's late. There was an accident. I got held up in traffic. There was something. There was whatever. But it isn't you're out of integrity when it's, oh, I did that one last thing at work just to keep the boss happy. And there are times when I think, actually, do you know what? No, that isn't all right.
Exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make. We say, oh, it's okay.
Yeah. 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 And that, yeah. For me, it's about coming from the perspective of that person who puts up with people treating them like that. Okay. You're teaching people how to treat you when you put up with it. So that bland, sorry, let's just get on with it. They think they can do it to you again and again and again. And they can constantly be late because it doesn't matter because you're not worried about it. But you are. What you've done is honor the other person. And maybe it is also about saying, I'm really sorry and I apologize. And this is what was happening. And I realize I'm out of integrity. But also asking that individual, okay, how did it make you feel the fact I was so late? And getting that true feedback so that it's an honesty thing, isn't it? It's an integrity from both aspects. And that individual, if they were sat there initially worrying, are they okay? And with this day of mobile phones, except for the fact I don't have one, but in this day of mobile phones, and you can have hands-free in cars, etc. So if you were driving, what would it have taken to have made a very brief call to say, I am so sorry, I'm stuck in traffic, I am on the way to you, and I am okay? What would it have taken to do that? Right. Because that would then negate an element of the apology because you were still stood in an element of integrity.
Right.
Does that
I
make
agree
sense?
with that. Yeah, I think that's important too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And as the old saying goes, honesty is the best policy. It may not be the easiest, but it's definitely the best.
Yeah. Well, I think, as you've probably seen, I do these things.
In fact, it goes back to this saying that I shared with you just before. I think between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Viktor Frankl.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I love that, because it is about, there is a stimulus, there is a response, and there is that space between. And it is about giving ourselves that space. But we're all very good at going immediate. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
It's an immediate response. And then that can be the response you think, oh, I wish I hadn't said that afterwards.
Yeah.
We do that. We do that. But it would be nice to go into this exercise to give people, I think you've given people a sense of it already in what you've been saying, because obviously I have read at least that section of the book, but I have read that. So, and and not being funny, it was easy reading. It wasn't difficult to read. It was well laid out and clear and concise. So it was easy reading. I'm not the world's best reader, and I don't, because I don't read a lot, but because I like to listen. But that was easy reading. So it wasn't a struggle to read and understand. Right. So if I hand over to you and give people a sense of the exercise of the whole process.
Okay.
And thank you, David. Thank you so much for sharing that, because I think having these little exercises to do is really important. I'd like to almost take the integrity thing a step further, because it's being integrity with yourself and honoring yourself. Is there something that you're doing that actually you're not doing wholeheartedly because you don't want to do it? It doesn't resonate with you. It's that saying yes and saying no, isn't it? And it's being integrity enough when somebody asks you, oh, you wouldn't by any chance do, or whatever, and saying, because how many of us, our immediate reaction is just to say yes. And then you're in that situation, what the blimmin' did I say that for? You know, there is no way I want to be a part of that, but I've said yes now, so I have absolutely no choice, or I just let them right down and don't do anything about it. You sit on the fence, sit on the fence, sit on the fence, and it's too darn late. You're well and truly out of integrity by then. Or it's, actually, I need time to think about this. So you say to the individual, can you give me half day, 24 hours, and I will come back to you? Yeah. You're then more integrity with yourself. But when you turn around and say no, we don't have to give a reason, because the reason is immaterial. The answer is still no. Not because of a date and a time, but because of the thing, whatever that thing may be. And if we say yes, we honor that yes. Right. But when we're saying our yeses and nos, it is totally being integrity with what is right for us. And a couple of years ago, I did this with the family. My mother turned around and asked me to do something, or if it was something, and because of everything that had gone on around this, I turned around and said a flat no, because I was totally within my own integrity because of and I won't go into the situation because it's family stuff, but it was a flat no. Oh boy, did I put the cat amongst the pigeons with the family. I really did. But long term, the consequence was, and still is, that other members of the family are now learning to say no. So by staying with integrity for me, which didn't sit comfortably with so many of the others who wouldn't have been happy about the situation, and because of the way things still weren't happy about the situation, but at least I was integrity within me. And it wasn't a matter of apologizing. Right. It was a matter of no. But we do have to do that. Yeah. It is important when we make a choice. Yes, there are always consequences, but the consequences shouldn't stop us from being within that integrity to ourselves. Right. Hmm? But then it's just about honesty, isn't it?
Yep.
It is just
honesty and communication.
Absolutely. The communication is essential.
Yep.
And it is just about honesty and communication at the end of the day.
Right.
And again, I suppose that's what integrity is. Honesty, but the most important person to be honest with is yourself.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But isn't everything starts with self? Loving yourself, trusting yourself, believing in yourself, feeling worthy. It's a really big one.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to that worthy thing, it's just, actually, do you know what? That's just other people's judgment. Am I worthy to myself? And when I am honest with myself, integrity with myself, then I am worthy of myself.
Well, you are worthy with whether you trust yourself or not.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
The very fact that you exist.
Yeah. 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 And exactly, it's the special. Yes, I am special. Everybody is special. Nobody is more or less special than anybody else. We're just special in our own unique ways.
Yep, exactly.
And it's trusting and believing that. But the way most of us are brought up, that belief isn't something that we are taught is okay to have.
Right.
David, this has been brilliant. It really has. It's been excellent. And thank you. And I hope folks will really sort of look into going back to the section about with the exercise, making themselves to know, but get the book. And I'm just going to type it in here. I think, providing I can do this.
Well, you can just say, let me just hold up the book so people can see it.
Yeah.
It's called A Life to Die For, Master 10 Key Skills to Transform Your Life into a Priceless Treasure. This book is available on Amazon as both a print version and as a Kindle version. And you can also find out more details on my book website, which is basically alifetodiefor.com with hyphens in all the words, a-life-to-die-for.com. Check it out. I hope you'll pick it up.
And thank you so much for joining us. It's been a great pleasure, as always, to have you on the program. It really has. Any final comments you want to make before we close?
Well,
Absolutely. They try telling us there's a limitation on things and there isn't.
Right.
Oh, David, thank you. Folks, next
week. My pleasure, Sarah Jane. Thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. Next week, Thoughtful Nuggets and Pearls. Go at your own pace. I hope you will join me for that. In the meantime, David, thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure. Folks, have a great week, and we'll be back again next week.